Hey, welcome back to another episode of Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 552 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Some very interesting news happened. If you were in my live chat, I probably already talked about it, but I wanted to delve a little bit deeper into it, into this own self-contained show. But before this, and I've been meaning to do this for a while, Jesse, but I haven't had time. Now I remembered. This is a shout out to Jesse and Wendy over in the Canary Islands. And he reached out to me and it says it would be awesome if his wife saw her name on this thing. So I'm like, okay, I will do it. So shout out to Jesse and Wendy in the Canary Islands. Yeah, if I ever go to Island of Gomera, I would definitely seek you guys out. But definitely thank you so much for watching my show and being a fellow follower and a fellow Snyder Cut fan. All right, so the first things first, and I think, it is a really cool thing indeed. Like Sean O'Connell has kind of just really came up from out of nowhere, really, and not really out of nowhere. I mean, he was with Cinema Blend and Real Podcasts and stuff like that, but he was really excited and ecstatic when he heard about the Snyder Cut, right? And like Stephen Cooper, who was over there with him at the Army of the Dead set, and they were talking about the Snyder Cut. He was really fascinated with it and decided to write a book about it, and reached out to fellow fans, to fellow Snyder Cut supporters and everything to learn more about that. He even he landed an interview with ZACK Snyder, so that is so super awesome. And right now he tweeted out that he is finally a paid author achievement level unlocked. Release a Snyder Cut RTSC book. He finally got paid for this, so he's ready to go. Is ready to release that book. Well, I don't know. I guess it's going to production. I don't know how this stuff works, but I think he's trying to get the book released around the same time as the actual the Snyder Cut, so that we can kind of it's like a companion piece for that. But I think he's on vacation right now, and I think by the time he's done with this whole thing, I'll be able to reach out to him again and have him back on my show for a victory lap, if you will. So I'm really looking forward to talking with Sean O'Connell again. Truly happy that I got to talk to him for at least one more time before he had to leave on Dave the Film Junkies vodka stream. So it's a great moment. I'm so happy for him. Congratulations to you, to Sean O'Connell. Okay, so there is something interesting that's coming up. And if you've been on my live chat, you kind of already seen a little bit of this. But before I get into what it is, and this is a huge hint so far, right? This is an awesome picture. Yeah. Boss Logic, who's very good at fan art. He does fan art for like celebrities even, right? So he's a terrific fan artist. And he's worked with Dwayne The Rock Johnson on concept art for Black Adam and so on and so forth. But he put this out, The Flashpoint coming soon, and what you see, Batman. Thomas Wayne's Batman, Reverse Flash, and of course Ezra Miller's Flash. And I thought this was really, really cool. Why did he do this though? Like, why did he do this? What's the reason for it? Well, there is a huge reason for it, and it is this. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is circling the Flash movie. You heard it right. You probably already heard it already, but Jeffrey Dean Morgan is circling the Flash movie because who is he? Who is he in the DCEU? He's Thomas Wayne. Why would Thomas Wayne be alive during Ezra Miller's Flash era, right? Why would he be alive? Well, there's only one way we can explain that, and that is Flashpoint. Flashpoint. When Thomas Wayne lives, Martha Wayne lives, and Bruce Wayne dies, and he becomes Batman instead of very violent Batman, but Batman instead. So this is all stemming from an article that came out from the Cinema Spot, right? And it's written by Thomas Polito, who is a scooper, just like Daniel RPK. He runs that type of, he's with that crowd. He says this: the Flash film to feature Flashpoint Batman with Jeffrey Dean Morgan circling role reprisal. The Flash movie is close to resuming pre-production, and I've learned that part of that will be casting the Thomas Wayne Flashpoint version of Batman. Jeffrey Dean Morgan circling the role, but last we heard, formal talks have not yet begun. However, that could change at any time according to our sources. Morgan previously played the role of Thomas Wayne in Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. The return of Morgan is a significant one, as it seemingly confirms the movie will at least partially adapt the Flashpoint storyline, where Flash goes back in time to save his mother and accidentally changes the whole timeline. In the Flashpoint timeline, it was Bruce Wayne who died that fateful night in Crime Alley, not Thomas and Martha, who was played by Lauren Cohan in Batman v Superman. Bruce's death causes Martha to break and become the Joker, while Thomas becomes a gun-wielding Batman. Morgan is known for his guest starring TV roles, Zack Snyder's Watchmen. He also currently plays the villain turned morally gray character, Negan, on AMC's The Walking Dead. So Birds of Prey scribe is still Christina Hodson. She's still penning the script for It director Andy Muschietti, with It director Andy Muschietti. And of course, Ezra Miller is said to is starring in the role, reprising his role as Barry Allen from Justice League. This movie will hit theaters on June 3rd of 2022. So is this true? Has anybody else heard from this? And I know multiple people have heard from this. Garza has been teasing it. Oh my God. Dave, the Film Junkie, has been teasing it. Even, Steven's been teasing it. A lot of those guys have been teasing it because they know their way around in that area. And also Grace Randolph as well. Grace Randolph said this: Flashpoint casting grid December 2019, but some only seeing it now, or revealing it now, I would say. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is listed as circling Thomas Wayne. Ray Fisher, Billy Crudup, I'm still wondering if I'm saying that right. New female lead, Sam. What happened to Iris? Where's Kiersey Clemens' Iris? Barry's mom. $10. It's Andy Muschietti pal Jessica Chastain. That's hilarious. She does not like Jessica Chastain, and every time she puts a dig in on Jessica Chastain, she may say no, but she does. But no Martha Wayne, aka female Joker, listed. So there is something going around, and apparently on that little piece of paper or something, it says these things right here. So what can we make of this? Well, it's not entirely Flashpoint, unless the new female lead, Sam, is the new female. It's when the time changed, it's no longer Iris, it's this person named Sam. I don't know. I'm just really guessing there on why that is. But like I said, this is a casting grid in 2019. This is last year. In fact, when you go back to 2019, this was Jeffrey Dean Morgan posting in December 31st of 2019, and he said this: Gus found the comedian mask, still fits like a glove and looks like extra with my badass bifocals. Here's to a masked comeback in 2020. Coincidence? I think not. And to the point that I put this tweet out, which, just went crazy nuts. I did not expect that much level of hype. This is fan art, by the way. It's a badass fan art. I think I even put this as a thumbnail. I don't know who made it. But I just wanted to say, is it Flashpoint? Is this movie becoming Flashpoint? We had confirmation that Ray Fisher is back as Cyborg from Barbara Muschietti's own DM. We have confirmation, of course, Ezra Miller is Flash because he's Flash. Yeah. And now Jeffrey Dean Morgan's in talks or circling the role back as Thomas Wayne, as Batman once again. They're still missing Lauren Cohan. I agree. There's no Kiersey Clemens as Iris. I agree. And there's also the point, like, how big does this go? How far are we going to take this, guys? are we gonna bring in Jason Momoa as Aquaman? Are we bringing in Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman? Are we bringing Amber Heard and getting her head lopped off as Mara? Like, how far are we gonna go into Flashpoint, or is this just a bit of Flashpoint, not entirely all Flashpoint? So that part is really intriguing to me. Like, the pieces are coming together. The pieces are going back to that original fucking DCEU, and it's so cool. And I'm just like, that's why I'm saying, like, do I need tinfoil anymore? Do I really need, like, it's really, a lot of this is starting to become more of a reality. And like I said, this was December 2019, she said, right? What has happened since then? Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced. And if they're putting all chips forward and they're saying, hey, Zack, everything on the table, what else you got? Does that mean they're looking further into what was before everything changed, like including, I don't know, Flashpoints, and saying, what else you got, right? So maybe there's a new casting grid. I don't know how this works, but I'm just saying, it's been a long time since December 2019. And if they're only talking about it now, I feel like that means something. I feel like that means that we're especially putting these pieces together. People are saying yes to further things. Contracts are being signed, renegotiated. I don't know how it works, but it seems like it's starting to come together. And I think that should be exciting. That should be exciting for all you fans out there, right? I mean, like, how far does this go? Like, really, like, what type of Flashpoint? Stephen Colbert put this out. Anyone ever think about this? This was back in June 4th, 2020, because I know they already knew. Garza put this out in February 7th, 17 of last year, when Zack Snyder asked, did you find out when we did that? Yes. Hello, boss. Do you think we could have got a Flashpoint storyline if things went as planned initially? Better. Zack Snyder says it would have been better than Flashpoint. And Flashpoint is awesome. What does he mean by that? Are we getting that now? Are we getting that better now? But how does that work? How will Christina Hodson work with that? Will Andy Muschietti work with that? I'm really, really, truly curious about this Flashpoint movie. Maybe more than a lot of other things besides Black Adam. It's starting to come together quite nicely and quite interesting, I might add. So the next thing is, I want to pull this up. We talked about this on the live chat, but I think it will kind of stir us in the right direction to my next topic. Okay. This is coming from Unity. Red alert. I have discovered very important new information regarding Zack's trailer and Darkseid. Look at the 4 pics and please read carefully. I'll also post this on Vero. This info is new and never talked about before. I'll link that in the description below, but it's talking about that piece there. There's some descriptions on the bottom over here. This is a fan art by Brian Zapp, of course, but you can take apart the pieces from it. So they talk about Darkseid, but the one part that I want to get to that will lead into my next topic is this, right? Part 3 of 3. I don't know what this says. Okay, I can't read it for you. But roughly translations is they are they who fell unto the darkness. There are beings, the existing ones who fell unto the darkness. Beings that fell into the darkness, right? So that is really intriguing to me, because if we're saying that's the literal translation, and we know for a fact that Zack Snyder says that Yuxus came down, hit the ground, anti-life, that whole anti-life thing is corrupting the ground, and you see all that, the equation, blah 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 blah, right? And so you see that happening on the ground. Do people or beings fall into these things, turn into, get corrupted in a way, right? Is that how it's going to be? Is that signifying that there are, or just in a sense, like there are people or beings from that time that fell into darkness, being corrupted, following Darkseid, right? So that's an interesting notion. And so I go back to this picture. This is a picture back in London of 2016. So this is after the finishing production of The Mummy, and so she hung out with these, the Justice League back then, right? But people are wondering, is she involved in this at all? Is she part of the Justice League? Was she there? Did Zack Snyder say, hey, why don't you come on and be a certain person or the other? So that was like rumors from back then. Until Zack Snyder says that when the League finishes off Steppenwolf, they look up into the boom tube, and then you see Darkseid with his army, parentheses, family. His family. So a lot of people were saying, well, Sofia Boutella could be Grail, right? Could be Grail. That makes sense. I think that makes a lot of sense. So there's a lot of fan art going around where she's Grail. So that's cool. Let's take a step further. Let's take a step further. I'm going to show you this video that is certainly been played before, so check this out. What Darkseid corrupted Supergirl, and she's now Grail. I know this is a wild theory, but Zach, anything can happen. That never crossed my mind. What if they change? Because it's not like the comics, right? It's adapted from the comics, but there are things that you can take apart and pull and put them together. I'm not opposed to that. Dipto. I'm not opposed to that at all. What if they call her Grail? He took her and... Okay. I'll stop it right there. For a second. So, could Sofia Boutella be Grail and Supergirl? That's my question here, right? And we'll go into details. Sudipto Sanyal, thank you so much for that theory. It is an amazing theory. Okay, so I had a theory which I put casually in front of Chris Wong from Ping Pong Flix, and after his reaction, I thought a little more and came up with an interesting idea. What did Darkseid attack Earth in the first place? Zack answered that he was searching for something that would make him unbeatable. In a later post, he wrote Darkseid was wiping enemies with anti-life equation. So why Earth? Maybe that had something to do with the empty Kryptonian pod from Man of Steel. From a long time, people have speculated about it being Kara Zor-El's pod, but Zack said that the pod was something more. Maybe Darkseid was after the pod because Kryptonians are the key to anti-life equation, and he might have wiped out Mars on his way to Earth. That's why we see Martian Manhunter symbols on the walls of that mural. That is another theory that was on the live chat, and I go in detail on that. And if that was indeed Kara, I think Darkseid corrupted her with AEL or anti-life equation and raised her as Grail. If Thanos can adopt Gamora, then what's wrong with Darkseid adopting Kara? And even if it isn't Kara Zor-El, I think that was some other Kryptonian who played a key role in the invasion of the Apocalyptians, and maybe this is why we hear Steppenwolf say there's no protectors here, no Kryptonian. Or I may be thinking too much. I don't know. And I'm with you. I'm ready to have this conversation with you. I'm ready to say that she does, if you look at her and if you have her side by side with Henry Cavill Superman, you can kind of see maybe there could be a little bit related. They're both brunette. It doesn't mean that in this universe, Supergirl has to be blonde. If they want to show a lineage that Kal-El is, looks like a relative, right? A relative of Kara, then they would have to have dark brown hair. And she even has that little cliff in the chin. I don't know. She could have been Supergirl. She came down. She came in the pod. She escaped the pod. Probably maybe made her way to Themyscira, got trained and taken in by the Amazonians, and they trained her as a fellow Amazonian. When they got to the war with Euxus, they came down. She got corrupted. She either got corrupted now or defeated, taken by Euxus, or aka Darkseid, to the Apocalypse, and he adopted her, corrupted her, and gave her a new name, Grail. Holy smokes, I love this theory so much. And if it's not that, hey, whatever. But I love this theory so much. It makes so much sense. Only that it includes Supergirl in some fashion. I've been out of my mind trying to figure out which actress is Supergirl. I feel like she is in the history lesson, but which actress is she? So it makes sense. Why not combine them? Kara is Grail, Grail is Kara, and Sofia Boutella plays both of those characters. I love it. I think this is a fantastic idea, fantastic theory. Thank you so much to Dipto for putting that out. And yeah, I love that. I really love that. So that's a great, fantastic fan theory. The last thing I want to share today is about JusticeCon. So Nerd Queens had put this out announcing the JusticeCon cosplay contest. We will share the entries leading up to the deadline. By the deadline, a series of voting done by the community will decide who wins. So this is the thing. JusticeCon. Deadline is July 17th, 2020. So you got some time. The rules: it must be a DC Comics or a Zack Snyder related costume. No nudity. No hate speech of any kind. No attacking the contestants. There will be 2 categories to compete in: professional and hobbyist. By entering the contest, you give permission to have your image reposted and used in a poll. To submit, email to justiceconvention@gmail.com. Subject line: cosplay contest. Image must be JPEG or PNG. Include in email which category you are entering with. Include Instagram, Vero, and Twitter handles. Winners will be voted on by the community and announced during the event. Prizes will be announced in the coming week. So that is an awesome thing that they have going on for JusticeCon. What is a con if there's no cosplay contest, right? I mean, they're trying to make it an actual con, so this will be a virtual one, but that doesn't mean you can't dress up. You might as well dress up. And they're not shying anybody away. As long as you follow the rules, you will be submitted, and you can submit it, and you'll be definitely a participant and part of the contest as well. So that is an amazing thing that they're doing together for the JusticeCon. This is so exciting. It's exciting to be a DC fan once again. It's exciting, very exciting to be a DC fan. I don't know. This is crazy. Like, we're back in 2016. We're back excited for the sequel to Batman v Superman, and looking again into the future of future movies, and to be part of that as well is absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for watching, and I want to thank you so much for subscribing. See you next time. All right, take care. Bye-bye.